plus 9.
2
Plus 9,
a.m.
yeah, 2 a.m.
3 a.m.
Right. Could be 2 or 3 a.m.
Something like
depending.
that.
Yeah, where.
Which is a little bit difficult. I've been in those situations where you have to try to manage your time and get up in the middle of the night. Oh, that's awesome hairdo, buddy.
I too am trying to capture a few machinima shots, so hopefully all of you are fine with that. Let me know if you prefer not to be captured, but if your avatar, if you don't mind, I'll try to get a little shot of you.
Have you found a lot of people in Second Life that don't want to be captured, Val? Because, I mean, we have a layer of indirection here. Our avatars are not our true faces. Seems like most people would be quite content to allow their
Yes.
their social representative to be captured in video.
Yes, I think most people are, and I've usually had people who are thrilled and want to be a part of it and enjoy having their avatars show up and be in the picture of an experience. But I like to ask, particularly if people have built something, because I don't like here I would want you to approve of any shots I take because it's you've got this great build that you've done. So I wouldn't want to capture someone's work and not share it in the light with the credit that they would want.
Oh, that makes sense. And I guess it's always polite to ask. Fidget, you say that a lot of people in your groups don't wish to be captured. Do they say why they don't want to be captured? Privacy is a huge concern. I can see that. Obviously, the real self you would want to have privacy. But since we can represent ourselves in any manner that we like, it seems like that would protect us. That's what the Beatles call it, the face that she puts on at the door. I forget the name of that song. Ah, disabled. Okay. Well, as you say, it's always good to know what people's preferences are. Sorry, getting some people showing up. Yes, so the beginning of the quest, you click on this large lamp here to get the first clue. It's still about 6 minutes till 9 my time, so we have about 5 more minutes perhaps, Val, before the official start. So I'll hold
Yes,
off
we
on.
do.
Go ahead.
Yes, I think right at 6 would be good, and then I believe some of us will be going into specific spots throughout the quest, and hopefully we will meet people who as they're passing through in our characters. And Brant, if there's new people, I suppose you'll kind of show them where to begin, and it'll be great in just a few moments.
Yes, I'll be hanging out here. And who's going to be here at this spot? Is that Fidget? Are you going to be right here, kind of the castle gate area?
Yes, Brant, that would be me.
Okay, so we do have a number of volunteers here, docents or guides or guardians of the quest, however you want to call them. And the idea is to a bit of role play and to kind of join the medieval setting, and also to provide people assistance along the way. I've been doing the quest now for since the beginning of last summer, so it's coming up on 1 year now. All right, Zoe's going to head off to her spot. And I when I'm online and I'm around, I help people and when they get stuck along the way. But it's very nice that these people have volunteered to help out. Val is kind of the organizing factor here. Valibrian Greg, the Lady of Shalott. So welcome,
Oh, why,
everybody.
thank you.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm going to just mention that some of us are librarians from the Community Virtual Library, where Brant put up a facade, a big display of this castle to share with librarians, so that we could share with some of the different educational groups in Second Life. So that's kind of how we got involved in being characters in the role play this evening. So we're excited to be able to do that.
Excellent. Each docent make a text entry. Yeah, that's a good idea, so that they can easily IM whoever they want to talk to. So if each of the docents could put an entry into the chat. So we'll know. Maybe also state your name and where you what's your station, where you're going to be located, either by what clue or where, what landmark you might be associated with. Can everybody hear the, I guess it's a coyote or a wolf howling in the background? It's a bit of the audio for the area. That was one of the first things I ever got in Second Life, was this campfire that puts out these audio sounds of a hooting owl and a howling coyote off in the distance.
Just so that everybody is aware, we were talking about this before Brant arrived and perhaps before a few others, but we are using the Medieval Quest group chat to be able to signal each other if we need assistance, if we're having an issue, if someone needs help and they're near another person. That's the reason why we're asking you to put your a line in the Medieval Quest group chat. And if you don't see it, the last sentence in there right now is Brant saying, "I see it." Alert Val so that she can add you to it, because it's going to be our main way of communicating with each other for the docents, not for the attendees.
Okay, that sounds like an excellent idea. Group coordination. We have met and practiced a few times, getting used to the positions and the challenges along the way so that we can help people if they get stuck. And in the last meeting I attended, I played the newbie who kept getting stuck and lost and falling off things, and challenging them to help me and rescue me. But it is a balancing act with people. There's some people don't want help. You know, they want to solve the problems on their own, and other people are very happy to get help and chat and get to know someone. Okay, well, it's about that time. So this is the official start of the presentation of the quest for the VWBPE, Best Practices in Education. I was honored that this build was selected for presentation as a best practice in education in virtual worlds. So welcome, and does anybody have any questions to get started? Type it into nearby chat. Otherwise, I'll just blather on. So the quest was constructed by me as a way to train my students. We're here on Lingnan Drama Island. Lingnan is a university, a liberal arts university here in Hong Kong, and the specific project was called The Musical. So the students are challenged to develop machinima that replicate famous scenes from movies here in the virtual world. And as I brought them into this world, I found that a lot of the students ran into the same kind of problems: how to move, how to fly, how to chat, how to find their way around the sim. So I developed the quest as a series of 10 challenges. Each one starts with a clue written in kind of Dr. Seuss style verse, and it gives you hints to find your way from place to place in the virtual world. And the idea is that as you do these tasks, that you pick up the skills required for moving, for chatting, for navigation, using your camera controls, all those things. So the idea is to read the clues and find your way. So one of the areas that I felt it didn't really address was the camera controls, which is essential for developing a machinima. So I'm currently working on another little build about a pirate ship battle, which if you're around at the end, I'll give you an introduction to. It's a gamification similar to the quest challenge that kind of as people address the task, hopefully they develop the skills that are required along the way. And gamification is the idea to make it fun. So perhaps rather than focus on the developing the skills directly, it's kind of an indirect way to develop the skills. Okay, so as you can see, the quest starts right here with this sign, do you like to hunt for treasures and secrets? Click on the genie lamp to start the quest. Solve the riddles, collect treasures. So that's my little sales pitch. And you can see the gold genie lamp here says, touch me to start the quest to discover the secrets of this sim and win treasure. So we're trying to kind of get this intrinsic motivation of people to solve problems, to find out secrets, and to collect free stuff. So there are a series of treasure boxes along the way where they can collect their items of clothing, some period accessories like swords and lantern, a wine goblet, just kind of various free stuff. Yeah, free stuff. So if you do have any questions, please type them in nearby chat. But unless we have any questions right now, we'll go ahead and get started by clicking on the genie lamp. Any questions? Just go ahead and type them or say them.
And some of us who are role players are going to go ahead and go to our role play positions, and we will see you soon.
Very good, Val. Thank you again for all your help, and thanks to all the docents who are willing to donate their time to this cause of helping people along the way. I hear the music. Okay, so we get started by clicking on this big gold genie lamp here. And it will offer to give you a clue, a note card, quest clue 1, and you keep it, and it pops up and you can read it. This is the first clue on a quest to win free medieval clothing. Follow all 10 clues to explore all of Camelot and get outfits and goodies. Clue 1. Over the castle drawbridge and into the yard. Turn left and walk to the trees. It's not hard. The door on the left with an arch of white roses leads into the church founded by Moses. So a bit of poetic license there, but you get the idea. So if you all would just like to follow the clue and walk over the castle drawbridge. So you can see that there's some challenges right away with the English, because a lot of my students are, well, all of them are English second language learners. So the word drawbridge, they may have to look up some of this vocabulary in order to follow the clue. So hopefully they'll pick up some new English vocabulary along the way, because all my students here are Hong Kong, so they speak Cantonese or Guangdonghua. Okay, shall we head off along the way? Fidget, Guardian of the Tesseract, wants an invitation to the group, to the chat, I should say.
Hi then. The Guardian of the Tesseract needs to contact Val because I cannot give that. But if I am Val Librarian, she will get you in.
Okay, very good.
I will invite
excellent, Beth.
once again to the Medieval Quest group.
Okay. So Beth says one of her 6th grade students said that her mother is helping her learn Old English. Now I can't claim that I've really written it as in Old English, as in Chaucerian, you know, but I did try to put in some interesting words, some words that aren't commonly run across. So you'll see a fair sprinkling of those through the clues. So Fidget, I'll leave you here. And it'll probably be a while, Katniss, before they get up to the 10th clue, but you're welcome to go anywhere you like along the way and get ready for people to come. All right, ladies?
I then travel well, ye journeyers. Watch each step carefully and land by the lamps.
Excellent. Thanks again, ladies, for all your help. recording. Okay, so how are they doing? So one of the docent roles that I suggested would be to have a Catholic priest here, with the Catholic Church as his station, and he could say sort of spiritual things like, follow the icons of Jesus and Mary to find your way to the true path of knowledge, something like that. As you can see, a lot of the things that are along the way were either built by Ali or purchased on the Second Life Marketplace. This is a lovely altar set up and available for sale on the Marketplace, complete with Ye Old Bible. Looks like it's in Latin too. Page from the Mazarin Bible. Delightful. The note card just came in, so it was a long delay waiting for the note card for Clue 1. Is that what you're saying? Oh. Well, I guess a lot of people were clicking on the lamp all at one time.
I need to go back to the start. Someone needs a teleport to join us.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to the quest as a presentation of the virtual world's best practices in education. To get started along the quest, you click on this big gold genie lamp to get the first clue, and you keep the note card, and then you read the clue. So your challenge is to follow the clue to navigate through this sim, and then hopefully develop the skills to do the Second Life interface along the way. So this is a gamification of the tasks required to develop familiarity with the Second Life interface, the user interface. So clue 1, over the castle drawbridge and into the yard. Turn left and walk to the trees. It's not hard. The door on the left with an arch of white roses leads into the church founded by Moses. So it's a series of clues, and you'll see the next verse talks about type F to fly up and E to go higher. Arrow moves forward, now you're a flyer. So it's trying to introduce these basic skills in a fun and hopefully entertaining way. The bottom line of gamification of education is to make the process fun, as opposed to, just a dreary task. Step-by-step instructions are often kind of the least motivating way to learn. Oh, Beth. Oh, well. Real life is calling. Well, thanks for coming by. A media maven. Welcome, Cheery. Yeah, good to see you. How long will it be up? Well, the quest has been up for about a year now, almost 1 year. And the sim is paid for 2 years. So it will, as far as I know, it'll stay up for the full amount of time. I have no intention of taking it down. We have added some other things, new builds, but this is the primary one, this medieval village. So I intend to keep it for the full term of contract, which is 2 years. So it should be up for plenty o' time. Talia, welcome to Camelot. A little medieval build here. I thought it would be fun to have a period, a historical period, for the students to create their machinima in this environment. Castles and village settings and a manor house, and then there's actually an 11th clue, the bonus clue, which is a underwater shipwreck world, the pirate shipwreck world. That's how I incentivize people to take my survey, which is my doctoral research into the roles of virtual identity and social constructivism as they impact on learning in the virtual world. All right, take care, Beth. Does anybody have any questions that I could help you with? Okay, well, the quest starts with the this gold genie lamp. Click on it to get the first clue, and then as you progress through each clue, you'll find a magic door and a treasure chest, and you get the free items from the treasure chest, and then you go through the magic door and you'll see another gold genie lamp, which gives you the next clue. As the clues progress, you'll see that it's a little harder to find the gold genie lamp, because I didn't want people starting the quest in the middle. I wanted them to start in the first clue or two and then work all the way through. All right, Thierry, have fun. And I'll sort of tag along and see how people are doing. I'm up to about 280 records on my survey, collecting responses from the various people who've come through the quest. Around 20 or 25% of the people who do the quest are willing to take the survey. That's a nice spacesuit there, Ikunis. Welcome to the quest. This is a presentation for the Virtual World's Best Practices in Education. The quest was selected as an immersive experience. So, welcome, and if you're interested in doing the quest, it starts with this gold lamp you see here, this gold genie lamp. You click on it, and you'll be offered a note card, and you keep it, and then you read it, and you follow the clues to get started on the quest. Most people take around an hour to do the quest. Some less, some a lot more. This is quite a challenge for second language learners who try to use the Google Translator to translate the clues, but the clues are already a bit challenging, so if the translation is off, then it makes it even more challenging. I remember one Brazilian couple spent around 2 or 3 days here, various times of the day, talking and working their way through the clues, and they had a lot of deep conversations, and they gave me some excellent input on my survey at the end of the quest. Hi, Akunis. Can you hear me okay? So you're asking what to do. If you're here for the quest, then you see this gold genie lamp on the ground by my feet. And you click on this, and it will offer to give you a note card, which if you keep it, it will display the note card, and you can see clue number 1. And you basically just follow these clues. They're kind of a cross between Shakespeare and Dr. Seuss. And you follow the clues, and it takes you through the sim to explore it. And along the way, you can pick up some treasure and use magic doors to go from one clue to another. Find your own genius, yeah, to solve the problem. So it's a series of tasks that I created for my students to help them pick up the skills of using the Second Life user interface. There you go. Close enough, Fidget. Genie is 2/3 of a genius. Lori Vaughn, did you have any questions? So the Camelot Village is fairly complete. Much of the castle has been furnished. Most of the cottages have been furnished with interior furnishings, furniture, kitchen, ovens, things like that. There's horses along the way which you can ride, and you can see people exploring quite a bit through this sim, finding the features and enjoying the various activities along the way. Yep, that's right, Akunis. Just follow the instructions in the clue to help you go through the sim. Start with going over the drawbridge. If you do get lost, there's people along the way, volunteers, to help guide you, kind of like a docent in a museum. The first volunteer you see is Fidget there by the castle drawbridge. And then there's a series of people along the way, volunteers, which can help you if you get stuck or lost or confused. And some people crank through the quest in half an hour. They just march along, fly along, no mistakes. And other people take hours, and some get terribly frustrated. But there's always going to be that normal distribution. Okay, Kunis, well, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Love your spacesuit. Looks like you've got all the vectors covered there with your rockets. Try your E key to jump, Ikunis. There you go, or fly will work. 3. Clue 3 is where? And inventory. Note cards. Clue 3. You're in an attic. Clue 3. Hi, Cheery. Can you see the gold lamp? There. It's kind of just below the window. I don't want to block your way. How about you, Zoe? Can you see it? Oh. Well, I can see it, and it's supposed to be there. Sometimes the sim does funny things. You know, it's I remember one time in the volcano, at the bottom of the volcano clue, there was nothing down there, no magic door, no treasure chest. Yeah. And Cheery, you don't see the clue 3 at all? I can give it to you. It's no big deal. Clicking on the genie lamp is certainly not the hardest part of the task. Oh, Cheery can see it now. Okay, good. So perhaps the server's just having a little bit of a hiccup providing that item. It just took a bit to res. Zoe, I don't know, maybe reboot your viewer? Sometimes that helps. It's part of the charm of Second Life, right? When things don't go quite as smoothly as you'd like. Yeah, Second Life viewer seems to have a few extra quirks. Okay, see you later, Zoe. Cheery, do you have any questions? Okay, that's fine. That's the idea, really. And most of the time, I'm not very hands-on with the quest. I just sort of pop over people's shoulders if they get stuck, and I think they need help. I might IM them with, do you need some help kind of thing. But obviously, for this presentation, I'm going to be a little more hands-on, a little bit more busybody everywhere. And I don't normally use voice in Second Life, at least not for the quest. Hey, that broom is dusty. I got allergies, you know. Oh. Yep, the bigger the screen, the better. It's hard to do some of the controls without a mouse. On a touchpad, it's rather tricky to use camera controls, for example. Ahoy, matey! And there it is. Yep. All good things come to those who wait. It's kind of right up there with the meek inheriting the earth. Alrighty. Well, I think I will cam around and see if I can find where other people might be along the quest. Okay, see you later, Cheery. Clue 3. So cheery, as much of the sim tends to do. There's multiple uses of each educational venue. In this tavern over here on the other side, the table's on the other side of the fireplace, there's a painting of Queen Elizabeth, and almost all of the plates of food, if you click on them, you can get various letters that Queen Elizabeth wrote to various people. So this was added by Literature Live, Desi Stockwell, who in real life is a literature teacher in the U.S., and I believe at a community college. So there's a lot of collaboration and multiple use of the educational venue. It can be a little confusing sometimes when people think it's part of the quest, but
see the dreaming house.
Do you see where the clue is? The magic lamp?
Yep, it was not very obvious. You have to kind of look around a bit. I think I put it just far enough away where you can't see the floating text.
Sneaky.
It's all part of the training. Just as a bit of trivia, that we brought that musculature in for another build, a medical training build, and when she's about 10 feet tall, she might be a couple hundred land impact or prem count, but when I zoomed her up bigger and bigger and bigger, she got nearly 3,000 on the land impact. But I keep her around for nostalgia, and I think it has a nice kind of visual impact when people first appear and they see that giant hideous face looking right at them.
It definitely caught my eye.
I haven't heard anybody actually scream over the audio yet, but maybe someday. I built this tesseract back in 2008 for my design students to kind of show them the idea of challenging people and forcing them to make choices and explore. And it's designed to be rather challenging. And once you get inside, it's pretty disorienting. The small size of the blue tunnels.
I never could get it until I actually read the clue.
Yep, you have to read it pretty literal, especially that bit about turn about. If you don't turn about, then you'll fall down. But there is a magic door there, Lyre, which will bring you back to the start point. It's kind of like a habit trail for humans. Okay. All right, delightful. Well, congratulations, the first one to finish. So this is where I make my pitch, asking people to do this survey, which is part of my doctoral research. So if you have the time, I'd love to get your opinions. You can see that there's a series of pictures from the Shipwreck World. And you can see the sign there in the middle talking about, I hope you enjoyed the quest. I'd love to hear what you think about the virtual world. Click this sign to take my survey, and I'll give you the access link to the 11th clue, the bonus level, the Shipwreck World of the zombie pirates, which I later referred to more as the Lost Pirates. But the idea is to incentivize people to take my survey. And so far, of the people who've gone through the quest, maybe 1,200 have gone through the quest, and of those people I've collected about 280 records, survey records. Great, thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it. My 7-year-old boy helped me with the Shipwreck World, which you'll get shortly, you'll see shortly, and there's a bunch of fun things down there. Almost all built by Ali. I really can't claim any credit for the pieces, but I arranged them in various ways. Yeah, delightful if you want to come again sometime. Maybe bring some friends. And there is the 11th clue, which you can explore immediately after the survey. And I also have a pirate battleship game, which if you're interested, you can check it out. I'm developing it to try to train students in the use of camera controls. So it's gamification of skill training.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, go try
I
it.
don't want to blow it for anyone else who's in the thing. Are there other questers, or is everyone else finished?
No, you're the first. I think there's 2 other ladies immediately behind you. They're currently in the Tesseract, the big black cube.
Nice.
But they'll be here soon. That I've tried to make that more approachable. A lot of people got frustrated on the cube. They kept falling out, or they fly away and get
I
lost.
didn't realize we had to turn around until my 3rd attempt.
Yep. Turnabout, right? And it's not a real obvious clue, but it's supposed to be the most challenging of the 10. It's a bit visually disorienting.
So what is the 11th?
Well, it's the underwater world of the shipwrecked pirates. So, do you remember
Cool.
when you were in the manor house? The one where you on the staircase and you go down into the mad scientist lab.
Yeah.
Did you notice that there were some odd sounds? I mean, there's a lot of odd sounds down there, but there's the whale sounds. Did you notice that?
That I didn't. I had my sounds turned down, though,
Oh,
so I
I
could
see.
hear everything.
Well,
Well, there was so much to hear.
yeah.
I'm sound sensitive.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on between the organ playing and all the whooshing and compressor pumping
Then the Lady of
noises.
Shalott, too.
Yes, the Lady of Shalott. And the whale sound is another thing you hear off in the distance. And there's also this huge whirlpool noise. And those are kind of designed to pique your interest because it's kind of the backstory is that the manor house was built by a rich man who gained his money, ill-gotten gains of being a pirate. And he built his house right on top of his shipwrecked ship. So the 11th clue gives you an opportunity to explore kind of the backstory underneath the mystery of the manor house.
That's very cool. I'm gonna have to come back and take photos and stuff. We got a little distracted looking at all the cool decor. It makes it hard to make it through in an hour if you really pay attention to everything.
Yeah, it's a pretty rich environment, and actually
It
most of the
is.
cottages that you saw down there in Camelot are furnished. And I've invited people, and still have an open invitation if anybody would like to take up residence and live in a cottage and kind of add to the environment. They're welcome to move in.
Oh, that's really nice. I have to admit, you have a lot of wonderful stuff down there. I didn't go straight to the seahorse. I started looking at all the buildings.
Yep, I can never tell. I'm never sure, is somebody lost? Are they just enjoying the scenery and exploring?
Well, it looked like shops and decor, and
Uh-huh.
and I couldn't resist looking around because I figure it's not just what's in the clues. There's more that meets the eye.
It's true, especially in the castle and somewhat in the manor house. There's an effort by a lady named Desi Stockwell. She's a literature teacher in real life and in the U.S., and she's added a lot of stuff around the Arthurian legends and Beowulf. And in the Green Seahorse Tavern, there's a whole collection of the letters of Queen Elizabeth. So there is a lot of things along the way, which can be a bit confusing sometimes. I've gotten feedback in the survey that said there's just way too much confusing stuff. And other people just jam right through, kind of like you three have gone relatively quickly right through the whole quest. So if you have time, I'd love to get your feedback and input from the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I was only rushing because I knew this event was an hour, and I was like, but I got distracted in the shops, right? I had to pick up. Plus, I know Desi, and I remember Literature Alive. I remember, 6, 7 years ago, some of their builds for Halloween, where they had the dumpster dive and all that.
Oh
In the
yeah.
haunted house. Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
And we have a haunted house now, put together by Niesa, who I believe Desi invited, and she says it's better than ever. So she's continued to add new elements. But we have her haunted house kind of in a skybox. And I don't know if you noticed, but we're also offering another build which was selected for the VWBPE, the Get Scrooged experience, which was developed around the Dickens tale of A Christmas Carol. So that's another presentation that's going to be in a couple of days. That's right, Wednesday, which is my Thursday
That's
morning.
great.
Have you seen it yet?
Not here, no.
Ah, okay. Well, I hope to see you if you're available, and that will be more of a literary experience around in the context of that Victorian era, and it's very snowy. Almost all the scenes have snow falling, which is fun. Like my kids here grew up here in Hong Kong, they don't have any experience of snow at all, so they think it's pretty magical. And there's 8 tableaus of characters around each of the crucial scenes, those scenes that I thought were pivotal, and 2 for each of the ghosts of the various Christmas past, present, and future. So yeah, I hope to see you for that presentation.
I like the reverse polarity in your survey instrument.
Yes, several of them are reverse coding, and that really helps me detect the ones
Yeah.
who are just going through and either randomly assigning things or just putting all neutrals. I get about 10% of the responses are just junk, where they just want to hurry through and get to the bonus level. That's okay. I found much higher response rates if I appear here at this Roman bath when people finish and make my pitch in person. You know, a much higher willingness to take a survey if there's somebody, asking nicely, as opposed to nobody around and it's just a survey in the shopping mall, where it's please do this as you go by. That might be less than 10% response rate. But if I stand here and get to know people, particularly if I've helped them along the way already and developed a bit of rapport, then I might get a 50% response rate.
Well, you tend to get a really good response rate with us. I teach doctoral classes, and Barbara graduated. Her survey was really long, let's put it that way. And it was wonderful. It gathered so much data, but yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, the longer they are, the more you have to allow for survey exhaustion, you might say. Even on my 3-page survey, the part past the demographics, the 3 questions that ask about the various constructs in my framework, the first 2 might be very, serious and good answers, and the third one, it's all neutral. They just get exhausted. They just say enough of this. But I've collected enough data to validate my survey, and then I hope to start my main study later this year.
That's good. That's good. No, I find these questions interesting. I'm only at near the bottom of 2 of 3, so I'm reading them all.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the idea is I'm taking a framework, a conceptual framework, which was developed a couple of years ago, part of the technology-mediated learning field, the input and process and output of the learning here in this virtual environment. And I'm adding 2 constructs, one for virtual identity and another one for social constructivism. And I'm going to try to prove that they have relationships, valid relationships affecting the output process, which is mostly affective, satisfaction and the perception of usefulness. Efficacy. Still have a couple of people finishing the quest.
You have a lot more reverse polarity on the last page, I see. Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
And
Yep.
on the 3rd page,
Jakob Nielsen
go ahead.
talked about that. Jakob Nielsen, in his book Usability Engineering, talks about the importance of that technique, whereas a proven instrument out of the University of Maryland doesn't use it much at all. And they have a 91-question questionnaire, right? And it's because they had a multidisciplinary team of psychologists who helped to assemble it. So they felt that it's properly coded, but
91 items.
I know.
Yeah, and I think that affects the outcome. Some people get tired, frustrated. I think it's you have to allow for that. But the bigger the survey, the more survey responses you need to, really develop a valid, significant level of response. So that's the challenge. Big survey, you need a lot of participants.
The question about visual learning style is interesting. 8 of my 9 characters I play without a graphical interface. I use Metabolt or one of those other types. So they can do everything in the world, they just can't see the world.
Oh, okay.
That's because I play games and do various things, and I log 9 accounts in at once, see? And so they're all standing around me, and I can drive them, I can move them, they can create things, mess with their inventory, wear their HUDs, and they're playing a HUD-based game usually, but they just can't see.
So there's no visual element to the game at all. It's just text only.
None. It's a little square. The login screen is, and it has little tabs along it for inventory and chat and build
okay.
and all the things one might do. There's just no graphics.
Huh. Interesting. Because we are such visual creatures.
Yeah.
So you're sort of isolating the more cerebral elements where people develop this game kind of only conceptually, not visually.
Yeah. Well, when Ajax Life came out, a 15-year-old girl in the UK wrote it for the blind to participate in Second Life.
Oh.
And so many folks who were on a satellite connection or something that's interruptible would use it because it was only transmitting text and only updates similar to the way a browser would work, right? This was back in 2006, 2007 when she did this.
Okay, so a very low bandwidth requirement.
That's right. I use that one too, but that one's a little eerie because everything you're doing is just in words, and at least with the other one I have tabs and, I have things compartmentalized.
Well, I can see how the usefulness of having everything in words, because it's very easy. You don't have to go through transcription of input, right? Anything audio has to be brought down into text, so that saves all that work. For research purposes. Second Life is obviously very visual, and as humans, a huge amount of our brain is devoted to processing optical input. So I think...
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah?
On the avatar question, I don't do any of the 4 choices you have here. That's because I'm complicated. My stuff isn't all in one outfit, and yet what I did was I was on the ground and I said go to height 1100, out of range of everyone's view if they're resing 1,000 meters, and then and then I put on this outfit. It attached it with my old outfit so I wouldn't have a wardrobe malfunction.
Right.
And then I removed specific pieces, but not all of them. I removed the skirt, the shoulder pads, and the shirt and pants, and then put on. But these items were already in place, so I don't. I never replace current outfit because then it would strip me bald.
Yes, it's true.
I don't have hair and everything. So I don't know how to answer this question is what I'm saying, because I never asked for help. I've been in Second Life since 2005. I know how to dress.
Right. So, and it is true
I don't
that
double click on a folder ever.
no.
Mm-mm.
And I have
And
found
then I
that
don't share.
girls get, particularly girls, female users get really upset when they lose their hair. In the classroom environment, everything stops until they get their hair back.
So what answer do you want for that one if none of them apply?
Oh, just
Probably
pick the one that you think would be the most useful, or the one that people normally would do. Not necessarily what you would do, but what you think is the right answer.
Okay. I'll double click on the folder, I guess.
I think that one I actually
That
dropped.
just opens it.
Because
Oh, did you?
yeah, because so many people use different
Well, it
viewers,
never puts it on.
and that
Yeah.
particular question deviates quite a bit in the other viewers. So many people are
Yeah.
using Firestorm, that and it's not done the same way. So I just dropped that one
Right.
from any kind of
Over 50% of the users use Firestorm.
yeah.
And then quite a few of us use Singularity also. I was using that up until the conference. Yeah, I right-click and say where.
Okay.
So that way I don't replace or lose my hair. And what's interesting is, over the years, where has changed meaning. It used to mean replace like items, and now it means add, double up on these items if they're similar, which is very disconcerting when they change what something means.
Definitely.
That was true from Viewer 1 in 2005, 2006, and of course in Firestorm, Phoenix, and all of those others. So it's been a kind of a mess. Now there's a little feature in some of the viewers that say don't put on my entire inventory, which is a good thing because I have 143,000 items, right?
Yeah.
One day I was wearing them all.
Really. 143,000
that took
things.
Forever.
Wow.
Yes. When they first changed what add and where meant. Because where now will double up on things. If you accidentally click on your inventory folder and say where or add or whatever, they all go on you. Or they did until certain browser, viewer developers started putting in a little failsafe there.
I see. Well, that would
For
be
how fast.
that would be a problem,
Yeah.
a pit to fall into. 143,000 things. This
Well, yeah.
you'll see soon.
You crash at some point.
I imagine
that?
so. I mean, even with 10 or 12 gigabytes of RAM, it would just overwhelm your
Yep.
computer. In this Clue 11, which you'll get the link as soon as you get to the end of the survey, there's an opportunity to put on a vintage swimsuit, because it comes with an AO, which the swimming AO, which kind of suits the underwater world better. But it's true that most people avoid going bald, and more I'm seeing people pick and choose the pieces that they want to put on. But I also find it interesting that you take your avatar to a high altitude out of any kind of cam range for privacy, right? That's the key there.
Well, you don't. Well, see, yeah, that's the trick. Now that the viewers allow you to do GTH space number in the local chat, like right now we're at 701, so I just go to
Uh-huh.
705.
Sure.
And so you get some precision on your height, and then you can, and I just went 1100 because most folks can't render beyond 1,000 meters. Nowadays, that's not true on some of my viewers. I've noticed I can go further, but and it doesn't bother me, by the way, if anyone sees me. This is just a role play medieval sim, right? So
That's right.
the last thing you want to do is have your database, your inventory not load.
Yes. As you put it, a costume malfunction.
That's it.
You saw that beautiful bed back in the manor house, and that beautiful bed came with a huge range of poses, if you know what I'm referring to. And that was one of the first things I had to edit out because this is an educational sim, but not that kind of education.
Hmm.
And
I've
ahead.
set mine to default, so I don't keep anything anymore. It auto gives me inventory, just so you know.
It auto gives you.
Yeah, it's a feature on the viewer where you say auto accept inventory when you activate auto. I do that because and also if students drop things on me, that way I'm not being interrupted during lecture by having to say keep things. If I have 30 people dropping things on me,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
or if I'm giving a talk, a conference presentation, people will drop a lot of stuff on me. And so I just auto accept it. It goes into the inventory and doesn't disturb me. Yeah.
Yeah, auto accept would definitely be handy and lower maintenance for you to have to deal with things, as you say, when you have students
Oh,
around and
yeah.
dealing with everything. This is actually quite a manageable size group with 3, 4, 5, 10 people, but when you get up to 20 or 25 students, it becomes quite a challenge to keep the group together and as you go through the different steps, the different phases of the quest. But, that's true. Classroom management in the real
This
world
is
and
wonderful, though.
classroom management in
Yeah.
the virtual world. But as you
Uh-huh.
say, the altitude, you can, I forget what that's called, when you directly type into the address bar of a browser to try to hack into like the next record of something. That's one of the ways people hack into databases. But yeah, you can override the Z element there, and I use that to jump up 2 levels and then activate my people and look at the radar, basically the little mini map, and then I can cam onto them and follow them and see what they're doing if
That's
they're getting
good.
in trouble. Yeah, I've developed all these little techniques for helping people along the way, and then we spent an hour or two with the docents here and showing them different tips and techniques.
Yeah, I use the radar people feature also, which is why I prefer Firestorm or Singularity, so I can double click a person's name and put my cursor immediately on them, my viewer, my camera.
Yep, camming people and following people. Although occasionally I get people who have their viewers set so that they can detect if they're being watched. Particularly a couple, a man and a woman couple, are doing the quest or wherever, and they'll object to being watched. So I'll say sorry. I'm the creator, and I was just tagging along to see if you needed help. But occasionally, you get people who do not want to be watched. They view that as a violation of their privacy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, with students, I always warn them, and then I teach them how to do it to me, so they can find me and see what I'm doing when I'm demonstrating skills.
Yep.
Emerging.
Same here. I was showing the docents how to use their radar and to cam onto people to zoom in to find people on your map. And those are nice
And
little tips.
then the double-click teleport to arrive at their side, very,
Yes.
very handy.
Yes, very handy and a bit disconcerting to people when you appear right in front of them sometimes. But a good tip and one that I shared with the docents here.
That's great. And and they were all wonderful, by the way.
They're still working. They're trying to get a couple of people who I guess are having some difficulties along this way with the quest challenges. So they're still working out there to get people home. Particularly the Tesseract, the 10th challenge is always difficult for people.
Sorry, I'm filling out the
Sure.
other stuff. My doctoral research in '95, I built an immersive VR system, and I had a head-mounted display device and a data glove, and all the other
Nice.
little peripherals.
Yeah,
I ran experiments with it. Yeah. So
that's
I've been
great.
in virtual reality research for a really long time. For 20
Wow,
years.
that's impressive. 20 years in such a field that's at such early stages back then. I remember the data glove and wish I could have had one.
Uh-huh.
I did buy
Yeah, the old Nintendo.
yeah, Nintendo. I did buy the helmet. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was quite large back in the
There were many of them. You know, the first one weighed 26 pounds, and it looked like a scuba diving piece of, the deep sea dive thing, and you had to have a special arm to hold it, or it'd snap your neck, It
Yep.
was so heavy. Mine was really light. Yeah, but it was expensive. It was like $2,500 back then. The
Yeah.
General Reality Cyber Eyes, what I had.
I didn't get the
An
Cyber Eyes.
arcade quality.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of it now. It was a long ways back, and I ended up giving it to my nephew. But
Ah,
it had flip-up goggles and had really good headphones built in. And normally it was like, yeah, as you say, around 2,000 American dollars. But I found a store that was interested in picking it up, and I asked them to order it for me. And they could keep all the stuff for selling, like the poster and the box and stuff, and to get more sales going. And they sold it to me at their cost, so I got it for like 600 American dollars or something like that. Can't remember the name though.
I'll never get to the 11th thing,
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the survey.
Right.
And some people
Uh-huh.
give me really good feedback on that survey. I've seen people write paragraphs, and very insightful stuff. One of them was all in Portuguese, which I ran through the translator.
That's good. That's
Yep.
good. Yeah, there's a really strong Portuguese set of educators that normally have a track at VWBPE, or did in past years. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have in past years, but they've kind of fallen off. I'm trying to locate these missing. They're mostly Brazilians, I
wondering.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, oh no, I thought there were some Portuguese also.
Well, there
The
are.
reason I
There's
say that is some of them used to write me. They wanted me to test some of their tech, and of course I didn't speak the language real well, and I'd use Google Translate, but that has some limits, for conversation.
Yes.
Definitely gets a bit ambiguous sometimes. And I've seen people try to do, Brazilians mostly, try to do the quests using translator, and it's a real challenge. Some of those terms, those old English terms that aren't
Right.
used very often in the translator,
Right.
gives them some bizarre.
See, in the Brazilians, it's easier because the time zone. The only reason I remembered some of these were from Portugal is because they were on the European time zone, and so I was like, yeah. So they were doing it like at the crack of dawn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Paulo Simos and João Matar. So João Matar is in Brazil, and Paulo was in Portugal, and there was this little connection that they were doing there. So.
There were some women in Portugal. One had
Yes.
designed a kind of, I want to say it was like it wasn't a whiteboard, it was a blackboard that would form letters it was like the thing where you throw a note card against it and it puts it up there. Only it would allow you to type from the chat line and it would appear up on the board. And she had written this
Yes.
thing. Yeah, it was really cool. And she wanted me to write up a very detailed report about it. And our language barrier made that a little difficult. Yeah, but it was interesting.
Well, there's still a few of them there working away, but I think it's the language barrier that every time I
Could
try
be.
to reach out to them, I can't. They kind of get lost.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I have a
That
hard
the
time with the
time
Russians.
zone.
The Russians rarely are willing to
Mm.
try to speak English, so
Yeah.
I do try some translator with them. But Russians, the French, I think, are the most English challenged. And the Portuguese usually give it a go. The Brazilians.
Anyhow, I have to go. Thank you so much.
Hey,
This was
take care.
wonderful, Brant.
Yeah, thank you
I'm
for
on the
coming, Laura
speaking of
Vaughn.
time zones, I'm on the east coast of Canada, and it's nearly
Oh,
midnight, and I need to get up in the
all right
morning.
then. Have to allow for real life. So, well, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been wonderful.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Do I get my 11th clue?
At the
You have
end
to
of
click
this,
the board here to
yep,
save the survey.
I
Yeah.
think I can give it to you. Let me see if I can dig one up.
I saved the survey.
At the end of the survey, it should give you a link which you cut and paste into the viewer.
Oh, and maybe I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Let
Okay.
me see if I can dig up the landmark and I'll give it to you. I should have one for Shipwreck World. But no, you don't want to go right to the Shipwreck World. You need to go to the attic for the 11th. You need to go. Does anybody have the landmark to the? Oh, I know where we could get that. It's from that note card.
No, I'm still 3 questions from the end.
Okay. I'll find that note card and I'll give it to you, Laura Vaughn, and it's got all the different links built into it. So that's note card. And it's called LMs within the Quest Guide reference. So here you go, Laura Vaughn, and that should have one in there for the 11th clue. If you open that, mine's just loading. And down near the bottom, 11 lamp point. So 11 lamp point should take you to the start of the 11th clue.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll have
Okay.
to come back and do that one.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming. Glad you enjoyed it. Invite your friends and enjoy the rest of the conference. Maybe I'll see you at the Get Scrooged.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Have a
I
good
will
day.
definitely be there for that one. Yeah.
Okay, great. I look forward to seeing you.
Bye, Lori.
Night, Lear. Night, delightful. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi.
thank you everybody for coming and doing the survey, and thank you to all my wonderful docents led by Val. I appreciate all your time and effort helping out with this presentation. If you want to take up residence, anybody who's interested, feel free. Let me know if you're interested in taking up residence in one of the cottages down in Camelot, or just drop by anytime.
Thank you, Brant. This was really, really fun. It was amazing to watch people so engaged in their immersive learning environment. So it's been a pleasure.
Great. All right. Well, congratulations to everybody for finishing the quest at Kunis. Can you tell us a little bit about your doctoral research? What aspects are you researching?
Was that for me, that question?
Ikunis said that he's doing this for part of his doctoral research. Delightful. Are you also doing doctoral research here in the virtual world?
I actually did my dissertation on it, and I sent you via IM the link to the PDF.
Oh, I see it. Yes, thank you very much.
Little light reading.
Yeah, definitely. Always a good example. And was it Lear who mentioned some resource by Jacob? Was it? Something about the engineer? Is it just me, or can anybody else hear the piano music? Kind of a Christmas tune in the background?
It's green sleeves, right?
It does sound like Greensleeves. My sister played the flute at a McDonald's back when I was like 5 years old, some contest. But that soundtrack is coming from above us, the Christmas Carol build. You can see a bit of the snowy surround around that build. And it's Christmas music. There's a lot of Christmas music embedded in that build.
I thought I could just leave here and find my way back to the quest, and much to my surprise, I was in Dickens land.
Yep, Dickens land. So, yep, there's a lot of different levels, different parts of that build. They all tend to be snowy, but there's a town square and there's a snowy village, and there's some other side things that are kind of built in, like Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, and a few hidden doors.
I think L. Frank Baum's first book was The Life and Times of Santa Claus, or St. Nicholas.
Really? The Life and Times. Who wrote the book?
L. Frank Baum, The Wizard of Oz.
Ah, yes. I didn't know that about Santa Claus.
He had many books, and they were in my children's library, and the librarians wouldn't give me permission to leave the children's library until I read every book in 2 rooms in this old mansion, this old estate. So I went from wall to wall and read everything to win the rights to go upstairs and read Victoria Holt and Phyllis Whitney and and all the mysteries and stuff when I was a little girl.
That's a great story. Interesting how they gave you a challenge to see if you could, pass it and move up to the higher level. I remember my librarian in my high school let me read all the books, all the science fiction books in the library, and she relaxed the rules about how many books I could take home at a time, and I would return them in stacks of like 20 or 25 books held together with baling twine, because we lived in the countryside of Virginia.
Yeah, even now I take out 10 monster-sized books every 3 weeks from the library.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's so hard to carry some of them because the volumes are so heavy, right?
Yep.
But, yep.
Someday they'll get them all on tablets in an e-ink or something, some kind of low power and easy to focus on format. I just read Ken Follett's Fall of the Giants about World War I, and very interesting. It was a very entertaining view of the culture and the historical period to the setup of World War One. I definitely gained a lot of insight into that, and I think that's the way history should be taught. It's a very interesting story.
Okay, Val, here's a bit of trivia. I read War and Peace, maybe this is undiplomatic of me, in one setting on the bathroom, okay? It was a very long setting, and I had a trick. For all the names, I read the first syllable and the last syllable. The last one telling me whether they're male or female, and the first one giving me a sense of the family name, right? So I had a little trick for getting through those long Russian names, right? But I tend to read fairly fast. But yeah, I did Gone with the Wind in one setting too. An overnighter in bed this time when I was 10.
Yeah, I would choose the bed because sitting in the bathroom, my legs fall asleep and then I can hardly walk.
Well, it was just so fascinating. I got to reading it, and it's like you get a crick in your neck and you forget that you're still reading, you know? And no one else was around. Otherwise, someone would have complained, right? But
Is that Dostoevsky?
Hi everyone.
Is that Akunis?
Yes.
Excellent. Glad you
Hello.
could join us.
Apology. I found very interesting your teaching practice. A comment. I think that at times didactic path was confusing to follow the idea of the practice in some places.
Are you talking about the quest, Akunis? Following along the different clues of the quest? Yeah, it is somewhat English language dependent, and I did put in quite a few words which are not mainstream. One that I find that people consistently have a hard time with is the word paddock. I think I used it a couple of times, jump down to the paddock, because it rhymes. But not that many people know what a paddock is, so when you grow up in Virginia, or I imagine Colorado and places like that, anything to do with horses, a paddock is pretty much a standard term for kind of like a corral, but maybe smaller. And the survey is somewhat long. But it was Lear that was just telling me about another survey that had 91 items. But I do hope to cut down the size of the survey when I go through this process of validating it. I can hopefully eliminate some of the items that don't load as well.
Yes. Well, let's say that Bolivian can show perseverance. Yes, I show perseverance for the practice. And it's good. I only say that didactic of how the person is going to the clue or like that things is in sometimes difficult to perceive the direction of how to go in the trajectory. Is I think a comment.
Yes, how they proceed through, and again, thanks to the docents for their help and assisting, particularly with a group of, normally I get one, two, or three. At most, I've seen a family of 5 go through the quest at one time, but usually they trickle through in ones and twos, so I can, usually help people myself. But with a group of 10 people trying to come through all at once, it was definitely a great help to have people coming in and assisting the various people along the way. So you mentioned that you had a hard time on a trajectory. Which clue in particular was challenging for you, and what was the verse that was problematic? Do you remember which ones were challenging for you?
Yes, and I think I will say this. I found an excellent idea to have people that help it. These people help me to go to the trajectory correct, and the help is what helps a lot. But if people are alone, it is a problematic situation.
Definitely. Some people prefer to go through alone, but yeah, it's obviously a huge amount of help to have people along to give assistance, and that's kind of one of the things I'm investigating is the value of the social construction of knowledge. And what I want to really do is pair experiences like this in the virtual world with online discussion forums, because that's my other area that I've really explored a lot. So if I could have a discussion forum where people talk about their experiences, I think it would be really useful. I have 2 other sims for medical training, one for biochemistry and another one for pathology lab safety training, particularly fire safety. And I think that might be useful to pair a discussion with the outcomes from these HUD-driven experiences training medical students.
Yes, I think it's an excellent job, and I think a lot of work of development is very good.
Yeah, sorry about that, Adridalba. When the lamp doesn't appear, that definitely adds to the challenge. But I'm glad you made your way through. And I know that Zoe had to drop out of the viewer and reload to get into another viewer, and then the lamp appeared. So what part of the verse was confusing? The old pirates must rest after their long sea career. Clue 2. Is that with the water wheel house? Yes, they go to the upper falls, and the key is walking, right? If you walk along in the water, then it keeps you on the ground level. But if you fly over the falls, many people have gone past that. But yeah, definitely, that's the challenges, and it helps a lot to have people around to get you back on the way. But it's a rare luxury to have so many people to assist on the quest.
The part I found most difficult was the part in the black cube at the final clue. It's so difficult for me, the black cube.
Yes, definitely. The Tesseract. The Tesseract is a cube within a cube, so it's supposed to be a cube in 4 dimensions. It's meant to be difficult. I built that back in 2008 for my design students to challenge them, to help them learn the psychomotor skills for controlling their avatars. And it used to be much more difficult. For example, when you fell out of the cube, when you didn't turn about, and if you fell out, there was no catchment, and they would fall all the way down to the sim floor, which is a long ways. And later, I added the catchment and a magic door to help you go back up to the start point. I also made the blue oval more blue, brighter, and I added the pink to show where you should drop in. All those things didn't exist in the original incarnation, so it was even more difficult before.
Yes, the Black Cube is for very advanced users.
Yeah, definitely a challenge.
Did
Go
you
ahead.
ever visit Crooked House? Seaford Surface's Tesseract in World. It was on a sim called The Future, run by Gus Pliskin. And you'd go in the house. Everyone had to sit except for you, the person who's controlling it. And as you walk through the house rolls over. So if you looked at a cutaway, it's like 3 rooms. You're in the center room, and so as you move to the far right room, the left room behind you rolls over and goes in front of you. So you wind up walking on the walls and the ceiling, but you
Cool.
never leave the house. Yeah. So it was trying to demonstrate mathematically the fourth dimension. That was by Seaford Surface.
That's awesome. And that name sounds familiar. Is he the one that did the AI bots?
Well, he may have. He did a lot of mathematical sculptures that the New Media Consortium and others had on display. And of course, Seaford Surface is a mathematical term. So he named himself, and he was getting his doctorate in math at the time.
That kind of illustrates the beauty of it.
He has online a lot of information about that on his site, if you just look up Seaford Surface Second Life.
I will. Do you have any landmarks to this Crooked House?
I don't know that it's still in World because Gus Pliskin, a lot of them are now in OpenSim, right?
Yeah.
But I'll certainly get you the link to his site.
A Seaford Surface.
Yeah, his name is Henry Segerman in real life, but here you go. And it's towards the bottom where they talk about that for later. But he did a Crooked House is the one, it's on the left, June 2006. But I don't think that Slurl is working anymore because
it's been a long time.
Over time.
It's hard to maintain funding. Most of the grants I get are for 1 or 2 years. I did manage to fund the medical island for 4 years by putting 2 projects together and getting the educational discount as well. So the HKU Medical Island is funded for 4 years, but difficult for most people to keep that kind of funding going to pay. So as you say, we all end up in OpenSim. Has anybody tried the new Second Life Incarnation? I forget the name now of the new Second Life Linden Lab. I should say, the new Linden Lab experience.
No.
Sansar. Yeah, Sansar. Has anybody tried it? Any feedback?
No. I was part of the High Fidelity project, which is like it. What's that?
She says not yet.
It's not ready yet. The CEO of Linden Lab was in the conference, and he told us that it's going to be open for people to try it at the end of this year. Yeah, it's still in alpha, so it's not ready for the public.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I look forward to trying
right
it.
now they are just inviting people to develop content, and then around middle of the year, probably July, August, they are going to invite more people. So people is going to have to apply to go to Sansar to develop content. And they are going to choose people from those who are applying. And then at the end of the year, supposedly, he said, supposedly is going to be ready for everyone to use it. But we'll see.
Sounds good. I look forward to trying it. And I'd also like to try Oculus Rift and Microsoft HoloLens. What are the other ones? Samsung VR gear. Val, have you actually tried them on? Have you had some time in those using those
Yes.
viewers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's getting her PhD, and her topic is virtual reality. So I've got to try a bunch of them: Oculus Rift, Microsoft HoloLens. I don't even know the names of the ones. I've tried like about 4 or 5 different ones. I go to some virtual reality hackathons, and here's what I want to say about it. So far, I've tried a bunch of them, and they are completely different than virtual worlds. I feel like they're 2 separate things, and virtual worlds are more immersive and interactive. It's like you're inside it, and your head is like turning and you're in it, but the user interfaces do not allow for building content or interacting and collaborating with others. It basically, I'm inside, like one of them was going underwater and swimming with fish and sharks and looking all around at schools of fish. Another, I was attacked by zombies, which was super scary, let me tell you. But it was, and it was really cool, beautiful graphics, but it wasn't, I don't, right now I can see virtual worlds as being more immersive, but at some point they may evolve and merge together.
I've heard good things about HTC Vive. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying part of my doctoral research was to give more control to the user for saving and for interacting with the system when you're wearing that device. See, when you're wearing the device, you can't see the keyboard and you can't see the mouse. You can't see any of your peripherals. So it's very much like you're sighted, but you're blind when it comes to the world around you. Especially if it's the Oculus Rift at first was very, very tight, whereas the new one's going to be looser so that eyeglass wearers can wear it, right? But when I first put my Rift on, I was like, it's going to snap my face.
Wow.
Whereas my old one was so light, and so I took the eye cups off and made it adjustable so anyone could wear it very comfortably, right? Yeah.
I've heard good things about the HTC Vive, V-I-V-E, Vive. One thing I read recently was that it comes when it's shipped with 2 stanchions you put in your room, and that then once it's mapped your physical real life room, then you can walk around in that space and move in the virtual world, which might be really good for some applications. And I agree that we need to enable that crossover of the user interface so that people can still control their path and their navigation in the virtual world. So that maybe by moving around in the real world, kind of like the Star Trek, the holodeck.
That's very cool. So I'm going to go check out your 11th clue. I finally got done with the survey. So thank you very much.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you did. I appreciate everybody who did the survey, and please enjoy the
last comment.
shipwreck world.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Last comment. With regard to the place that we're very small is what difficult to interact with objects. Is a comment of that. I want to ask if I can bring some of my research students to observe what you can do in this virtual world.
Sure, please do. This is open to the public, and I'd be happy for you to bring your students in and explore as much as you'd like.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
You're very welcome, and keep in mind that there's 3 sims here. This is the Lingnan Drama Island. There's also Hong Kong U Education Island, where right now I'm building developing the Po Village with Desi Stockwell. So it'll be centered on the 8 of the Po stories, and then above that we have the Get Scrooged build, which is around the Victorian tale by Dickens, and then next to it is Hong Kong U Medicine Island, where there's 2 builds for training medical students. So there's lots to explore, and I'd love to hear any feedback you might have or suggestions. So again, thank you all for coming.
So on Wednesday when we come for the Get Scrooged, we'll be near you then, huh?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Okay, so I will see you all again perhaps on Wednesday as part of the VWBPE conference.
Thanks, Brant.
Sure, you're very welcome.
Wonderful work.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks again for all your input, and I hope to see you again soon. So yeah, please enjoy the 11th clue.
Yes, thank you. It was very fun.
You're very welcome.
I would like to continue with 11 clue.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Go on to the... Sure, that's fine. Go ahead on to the next clue, the 11th clue. Do you have the link?
No, I don't have the link. Can you
Okay.
pass me, please?
Yes, I'll give it to you. So this is a note card of all the landmarks in the quest, and down near the bottom you'll see the 11th lamp point. So that should take you to the start of the 11th clue.
Okay, thanks.
You're very welcome.
And goodbye.
Bye-bye, Christian. Take care. So Val, I think it went off pretty well. Thanks again for all your help, Katniss. I really appreciate you organizing and contributing your time.
I think it went really well too. It's been great. I think everyone learned, and so I was thinking maybe we could meet at some point to have sort of a debrief on how it went. You know, for those that would like to follow up and kind of just debrief on the learning experience and how the role play went. So, would you be willing to do that? Maybe one evening about this same time? Maybe. I know it's people are kind of busy because I had a great time. I don't know about you, Katniss, but it was super fun. So thanks so much, and we'll be in touch.
Yep. Thanks again for all your help. And it was kind of a challenge there with a couple of people who were having some, obviously, language difficulties. He sounded, I don't know, Portuguese or Italian. But yeah, let's get together and compare notes and talk about how it went.
Yeah, I had a real good time too. For a while, you know, I don't know if y'all saw my chat, but I was like, I feel like Rapunzel lost in the tower, but all of a sudden everybody was coming through, and I just learned better how to help people through.
Yeah, for a while there you were kind of lonely, and frankly, often when I drop into this world of Camelot, it is pretty lonely, and people will appear and then look at you and then disappear. So sometimes you feel a little underutilized or unappreciated. But once people come and then you have some nice interactions with them and they're successful and they're happy, then that really makes you feel, gratified, and feeling like you're contributing to the greater good. So thanks again for coming.
Okay, well, I'll let you all go. I know it's probably getting late where you are, Katniss, and I know you need to get on with your day. So I'll be in touch, and thanks for everything. It was super fun.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Val. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. We'll see y'all again soon.
Take care, Katniss. See you soon.
You too, Brant.
Bye-bye.
Well, hello.
We meet again. So I was going to take a look and see how they're doing on the 11th clue. See where they are. They should be coming down out of that house.
I usually have another avatar that I'm in world with more than this one, and I keep forgetting to landmark the place I go back to. So I
Yep.
was going to come back here and regroup. So
Sure. I'm going to head over to the manor house.
Well, have fun.
All right.
See you later.
Take care.
You too.
So that is too. I see it now. It's too funny.
Nice shoes. Oh, that looks good. I see I'm wearing them too. It's just mine are really low because of my boots. Okay, we'll waddle this way, I guess. Somewhere to the water, right? Whoa, there we go. Okay. Glub glub. Hey, you like the feet? Oh yeah,
They're funny.
aren't they? Flippers on my boots. The Church of the Deep. Okay.
They go on the ferry, don't they?
The whirlpool.
When they took them to school, everybody was there. One time they took them to school, everybody was gone. They'd already gotten on the boat, they'd already left.
Oh, I found it, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it's in the skull rock. Yep. I'll look back here for a minute anyway. Oh yeah. There's the tentacles. Oh yeah, there's the cave. Oh yeah. Oh. Thud. Yep, there's the, oh, there's no treasure. Oh, it has gold.
So he was right.
Captain Skelly Bones. Huh? This must not be the right one then. Okay, back to the crypt. There's the cave. Well, that's the cave, but this isn't Captain Skelly Bones. This is a red herring. So where is Skelly Bones? Enter the crypt.
I think it's over here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, under the tentacles, eh? Whee! Oh, nope. Sorry.
I guess not.
It's a good thought, though. Well, this is a dead. Uh-huh.
Did you find it?
No, I keep finding other things though.
Yeah.
Ladies, can you hear me?
Uh-huh. We found the cave. We went inside. We just
Yeah.
didn't see Captain Skelly Bones.
Nope.
So we're looking for the crypt.
The cave is sort of a false clue. It has a little treasure chest there, but nothing inside. But if you go over here towards me, you see Skull Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And then right next to Skull Rock is the little, I forget what the clue says, a crypt.
Yeah, but don't tell.
No spoiler.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Wow, that's a crypt.
And they're all so happy to see you.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
They've been so lonely. So this is the big finish.
Oh yeah. Picking out all the skellies here.
So this last clue is not as literal as the prior ones. This is more of a tour of the area, and it's kind of a lot looser and less structured.
Well, sure.
Right.
Well, one thing on the role play, because I know you guys said you were gonna go meet on it. I was torn between playing more with the docents, with the folks who had.
So you were torn between talking to the docents and doing the quest?
But normally I would be talking and playing and carrying on.
Yep.
And I did talk to each of them and spend a moment, but you know how it is.
Sure. They're torn between the desire for social contact and then the task at hand.
Yeah, the task, and normally the task wouldn't distress me at all, except I know a lot of people go right to bed after these events. I know you're not because it's early in the morning, right?
That's right.
But everyone else is going to.
Yep, that one lady said it was already past midnight, but it's almost noon here. It's coming up on
Yeah.
11:25. So I need to get rolling. Actually, I need to head off to my job.
Oh, sure. Well, anyway, you can see what your gear looks like when you just wear it, you know. It just adds it to the outfit.
Yep. Yeah, and you got the swimming
Which I
animation
like.
too, which is good, so you can swim
yeah.
around.
Yeah,
Good.
I like that.
Well, it was nice meeting
Anyway,
you.
thank you very much.
Yep,
This is wonderful.
and I hope to see you on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. See you then.
All right,
Bye.
take care. Bye-bye.